Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to show you guys how to change the motor mounts on a 2nd gen Dodge Ram. It's going to be the same process for the 5.2 and 5.9 liter gas engines. So let's get started. First thing I'm going to do is remove this bracket that connects to the motor mount to the transmission. And this is going to be a 1/2 inch for this bolt. Move that out of the way. Alright, next we're going to remove the bolt that holds the motor mount. This is going to be a 13/16, at least on my truck it is. On this side of the motor mount, I'm just going to put a 18mm socket just to hold it from spinning. And I did soak these in penetrating fluid overnight. That will help you. Alright, so next what we're going to have to do is just lift the engine just a little bit to get the tension off this bolt so we can pull it out. Alright, so I use a piece of wood to distribute the weight, and I have it more slightly so on the passenger side since that's the side I want majority of the weight to come off of. So you don't want to crank it up, you really just want to lift it until you see the bolt slightly come loose on the motor mount. Alright, you can see that the bolt is moved up a little bit when I just push it through. And it'll slide right out. That. And then now we're going to have to remove these 2 bolts here. And these are going to be 1/2 inch. And then the last bolt we got to get is right here, and it's going to be a little bit harder to get to, and you're going to have to use a wrench. All right, so how I was able to get this one loose was I used a 1/2 inch wrench and a 1/2 inch socket wrench together, and it gave me enough leverage to loosen that bolt up. And then now you can just take your time and loosen that bolt. These types of wrenches will make this part a lot easier if you have one. Alright, once you got it loose, you can go ahead and move the motor mount out of the way. Might take some wiggling to get it to come down. You may need to give it a little bit more of a jack. Okay. And just pull it up out of the way. Might take some wiggling. Eventually you'll get it to where it'll come out. Go ahead and put your motor mount back in place, same way you took it off. Okay, let's get it in place. I'm just gonna put my bolt in there for now to hold it. I'll tighten up the block bolts. Okay, so just get them all semi-tight, and then I'm gonna torque them all down, and then I'll let the engine rest on the bolt for the engine mount. So go ahead and tighten these up first. Just get it tight, tighten it up. That's good. Alright, now we're just gonna drop the jack, and then that way that'll sit down where it needs to sit. Pull back on. Go ahead and tighten your mount back up, and make sure you have the 18mm on the other side to hold it from spinning. Alright, there we go. Then go ahead and reinstall the bracket on your transmission and the motor mount. Get it started by hand first. Let's get it lined up, and then we'll snug them up. Alright, well, that's how how you change the motor mount on a 2nd gen Dodge Ram. If you found the video helpful, feel free to give it a thumbs up. And as always, thanks for watching.